Good morning. I promised that I would give you kind of what my morning is like. This is as an example, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what you can do for your own morning. Now, keep in mind that it's taken me a long time to figure out what works for me. Figure out what works for you. My system might not work for you. That's completely fine. You can change the order. You can bring more things in. You can take things out. Whatever works for you, okay? I'm really pragmatic that way. This is the way my morning works. So I get up at 4:45. I take a quick photo of my screenshot. I take a screenshot of my phone so that I can send it out to the accountability group with mornings. Then immediately I basically go to the washroom, put on a pot for some tea. I brush my teeth. As soon as I'm done that, by that time the water's typically boiled. I pour some tea. I sit down and I have some quiet time. So the first thing I do is I'm silent. I practice some meditation and work on some mindfulness there. After that, I move into, and I do a few different things here, but typically I do my affirmations. I go through my goals, I review my goals. Every once in a while I review my why, my mission statement. That's a very important thing for me. And that's keeping everything on the top of my mind. I'm influencing myself in the best possible way first thing in the morning. Next, I move into learning something. So right now I'm learning French, but typically I'll learn something anywhere from, 15 to 30 minutes. It depends on what I'm focused on. Sometimes I work on marketing. Sometimes I learn something else. But I'm always learning something about business or personal development or language or something like that. Something that improves my life on some level. Next, I move to exercise. So I'll work out for, usually my workout's about half an hour. So in total, usually it takes me about 40-45 minutes. Before I'm done that, and then I jump into the shower, eat something quick, and take off. That process usually takes me about 2 hours. For me, I found that 2 hours is a bit of a sweet spot. It's really relaxed time. I ease into my day. I don't feel rushed with anything. But I realize some people don't want to take 2 hours to do all that. So I'm going to give you a quicker program. I'm going to give you a 10-minute version. Wouldn't you like that? A 10-minute version when you have no time. How can I use 10 minutes to start my morning off properly? This is what I would do if I only had 10 minutes. I know I never do this. I always make sure I've got more time. Having said that, if you wanted 10 minutes, this is what you're going to do. You're going to spend 1 minute on 5 activities and 5 minutes on a second activity, okay? This is what I would do. I would get up and I would take 1 minute of simple mindfulness. Deep breathing. I just pay attention to my breath coming in and out of my body. It grounds me on a completely different level. 1 minute. The second minute, I would go through my affirmation and write it out or simply say it out loud to myself a couple of times. Third, I would review my goals. Just read through them really quickly, and I wouldn't read through my entire list. I would just keep kind of the most important goals in my mind. Next thing I would do is show gratitude. I would write out one thing or visualize something that I'm grateful for that day. So you're up to 4 minutes now. The next one I would spend 5 minutes on. And that one would be learning something. I would still read a page of something, listen to some audio of a book or something. I would learn something. With French, this is really easy for me because I've got an app that I can simply learn for 5 minutes on. And then lastly, what I would do is I would make sure that I'm ready for the day by simply moving my body a little bit. The more you move your body, the better you're going to. Actually, not the more you move, because you can kill yourself, right? If you go crazy. But if you utilize movement in your body a little bit for 60 seconds, honestly, what I would do is I would just loosen up my hips a little bit. My hips tend to get really tight. So I would honestly do that for 60 seconds, and then I could take off. So that would be my 10-minute routine. Figure this out for yourself. What I found with most of my clients, and you'll probably find this yourself, is that the more you do it, the more you start to love mornings. And the more you realize, wait a second, I was utilizing half an hour, 10 minutes, or 40 minutes. I need more time than that. I love just sitting quietly, like the space. It's this sacred space where it's quiet and peaceful and restful, and it starts off my day so well. Experiment with this. Try it out a little bit. Feel free to give me feedback. Try out other things. One tip before I take off here, that is, I switch my mornings around. If I find that one thing isn't working for me anymore, I will switch it. Now, there are two kind of schools of thought that you can go with. If you go to one thing consistently, you do the same thing every day, that can be really peaceful for your existence, for starting off your day properly, because you're used to it. Okay, it's a comfort level. Or, on the other hand, if you change things up a little bit, it'll be fresh for you. It'll engage your mind on a completely different level. You'll be more engaged probably in the activities you do. Find what works for you. Again, I'm super pragmatic. And enjoy exploring this process, and enjoy exploring what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Go to other blog posts, go to other people, and listen to what they're suggesting, what they do in the morning. One thing I often do in the morning is take a really cold shower, especially if it's in the winter. So I mean, you can explore different things that you do. I have talked about eating that frog. I'll talk about it again later on, I'm sure. But again, enjoy being curious about this and exploring everything that this can be for you. I'm willing to bet that after 2 weeks, if you've been doing this for whatever, 10, 12 days so far, after 2 weeks, you're getting to a point where you're starting to enjoy it. And it's actually becoming a lot easier. Now, even if you want to sleep in on a different day, you might find that a little bit more difficult. That's okay.